It says we're live. All right. This is the new Role Players Adventures. I got it earlier this week. And better not do that, I'll get hung up in cables. Excuse me. I got it earlier this week from the Kickstarter. I think it hit shelves on like the 23rd of November. But this is my first playthrough. I haven't really even read the rules. I've got it set up for the first adventure, which is Battle at Black Lake. It's cool. All the adventures are done up in these little kind of old school AD&D style adventure modules. So you got all kinds of stuff going on here. So I've got two characters. These are pre-gens. I've got the Dark Elf Sorceress. I've got the Minotaur Crusader. I'm also using the the expansion that came with it, Nephrasa's Judgment, and that is like backstories for all the characters. So when you set this up, this isn't like, it's expanded content, but it's not like, a new adventure after the fact. It augments and fills out the adventure as you play it. So if you've got all this at once, when you set it up, you might as well throw this in. And on their character sheets, you probably can't see, but each one has, you look up there on the pre-gens or backstories down here, this guy's devoted, and the sorceress is the chosen one. So you look them up in the book there, the big huge book, and it gives you adventures and locations where their backstory, like side quest, will have an event. So neither one of them has one. The sorceress starts at adventure 2, so this one won't have any backstory stuff, but it looks like that's where it ties in their alignment. These are actually separate cards from the character sheet that came with the expansion. Alright, so you got a map of the adventure. These are very nice, high quality stuff. If you played the original role player game, it's all very high quality stuff. Linen cards, linen maps. Like I said, the rule books are full color and everything. You get the bag of dice. Alright, so we got a campaign tracker up here, which currently has how much money we have, bonus play limits, a rest token, there's favor that we get to track, XP, titles, all kinds of stuff. We've got cards, monsters, like resources, right? These are our stamina or something that we use this to buy things. Fatigue. Oh, why this one's so like dusty there. Alright, so role player adventures. You can import characters that you create in the original role player game, which I've got some on standby, but I figured I ought to learn the game with just a couple pre-gens first, that way it's set up and I won't have extra rules to confuse me. Alright, so let's get started. So we went through all the setup, the encounter tokens are set. That's these guys, the compasses. They've got a number on the other side to tell you which encounter to go to. Alright, your adventure begins. As a Kingsguard soldier in the regiment of Commander Zylak, a dark elf, you have fought a long war. The Dragul, a coalition of northern tribes, invaded Nalos, your homeland. After many battles, you have driven off their hordes, but rumors spread through the camp of a new Dragul plot. One night you are summoned to Commander Zylak's tent, where you find him arguing over a map with General Grick, an orc. A gold coin marks the southern city of Sabek. A vial of elixir marks a swamp to the west. General Grick raises an eyebrow when you enter. So you're Zylak's best, he asks, looking you over skeptically. We have a special mission for you. But first, a question of strategy. Zylak wants to take your regiment south to investigate a threat to the capital, says Grick, pointing to the coin. Then, pointing to the vial, I think we should push west and capture a powerful Dragul agent in the swamps. What say you? It's kind of like a choose your own adventure. So I got a couple choices. I can side with the general to learn more about Dragul plots, or I can side with Commander Zylak and investigate threats to the capital, and gives you choices. Begin 1, begin 2. Well, I've been working for the commander. Of course, a general outranks a commander. The commander has recommended us, I'm assuming, to the general for this mission. So we should probably go with the general. Let's go with the general. Side with General Grick. Learn more about Dragul plots. Begin 1. Okay, so begin 1. Getting kind of overexposed with the lamp. But anyways. You point to the vial of elixir, and General Grick laughs, patting you on the back. Yes, exactly, he says. Zylak nods. I'll leave you to it, he says. He collects his coin and exits the tent. Recording keywords. The action indicator below instructs you to record a keyword. To do this, write the keyword Grick in the keyword space of your party journal. Grick. Okay. Keywords. Grick. All right. Noted. You can keep the vial, the general says to you, rolling up the map. You'll need it where you're going. Leave now and travel due east until you reach a small enemy encampment. A special operative of King Taran will meet you there. You collect the elixir from the table and drink it down. With a nod, the general sends you forth. Gain 1 XP. Okay. XP is these old blue cubes. That goes on our campaign tracker. You make haste under a crescent moon, crossing burnt and abandoned farmland in the open prairie. At the top of a bluff, you look out over a dark lake to a wooden outpost. Place your party marker at location A. Read entry A. Our party marker is this cool little mini, which has a male ranger on one side and like a female dwarf on the other with a big axe. Pretty cool. Location A, which is here. The Borland Prairie. Okay. Read entry A. Entry A. Action indicators. Action indicators are always read and resolved in order from top to bottom. Sometimes an action indicator will direct you to another entry. When this happens, immediately turn to that entry without reading or resolving any more action indicators. Okay. If there's no XP at this location, go to A1. Otherwise, collect the XP from this location and continue reading. So another XP. Nice. As you look out over the lake, a voice calls from a thicket behind you. Care to join me? You turn to discover a friendly halfling roasting apples and hares by his fire. You look like you could use a meal. You disregard the halfling and he chuckles, then stands to salute you. Tarek Nolan, special operative of King Taran, confidant of the immortal knight, and bearer of bad news and terrible secrets. Now come, eat and rest, for we have hard work ahead of us. As you eat, Tarek speaks in a hushed voice. The lake below is dark, for the Dragul filled it with the blood and ashes of their dead. Our mission is to secure the outpost. The northern shore is guarded by an encampment of goblins, weak but many. Gnolls stand watch to the south. We need to eliminate both camps, so take your pick. You go one way and I'll go the other. Burn down their camp to signal your progress. I'll do the same. Tarek pulls something from his pack and tosses it to you. We'll need this at the gate. Alright. Discovery cards. When instructed to reveal a specific discovery card, do not shuffle or examine other cards in the deck. Only find and reveal the card referenced by the deck. The discovery deck is organized in numerical order and the cards are numbered on their backs. Reveal discovery card number 65. Discovery deck. Okay. Oh, and we need number 65. How was that for a cut, huh? Discovery card 65. Oh, I don't have my I need to get a little camera set up for my cards. It is a bluestone fireball, especially with this glare. Next time I'll have the camera set up, a tray for the card that I can lay it in. I forgot about that. Okay, I'll just put that here. Using items. Items can be used at locations. When using an item, each player places stamina in their fatigue box from the supply equal to the cost listed on the card, which I'm going to guess is 1. It's got a little icon there. To use the bluestone fireball, item 65, that Tarek Nolan handed you here at Borland Prairie, location A, each player places 1 stamina into their fatigue box, then combine the location letter with the item number and turn to that entry in the storybook, A65. Oh, okay. You cannot use the same item twice in the same location. Use an item, move to another location, resolving encounters. In a multiplayer game, the player to the right of the storyteller. If you move along a path that contains an encounter token, flip the token face up, place your party marker beside it, open the Tome of Encounters, and turn to the entry for this adventure. Goblins. With the same number as the encounter token. Then return the encounter token to the box. For example, in this adventure, reserve encounter to resolve encounter token 2, turn to adventure 1, 2 in the Tome of Encounters. Alright, so yeah, we had a choice here, I guess. Gnolls stand watch to the south, lots of goblins to the north. Okay. So what do I do? So I'm at A1, right? I'm at A. Well, do we want to go to the goblins or the gnolls? I've got the Crusader, who's pretty tough. And I got the Spellcaster. Let's go to the... We'll let him handle the goblins. We will take on the gnolls. Okay. So we get encounter 2. Okay. So A2. You examine the bluestone fireball by the light of the smoldering embers of Tarek's campfire. You recall Tarek giving it to you. He said you would need it at the gate. Oh, I see. So these are choices. Use an item, move to another location. So I move to another location. Okay. And then I can use an item. I don't have any other items to use. Well, I've got my hands. I haven't looked at yet. Rest, move to another location. I guess we'll continue to move. I'm a little confused. I guess I just move to C. Okay. Yeah. C. If there's no XP at the location, go to C1. Otherwise, collect the XP from this location. If you have keyword goblin, if you have keyword alarm, if you have keyword clear. I don't have any of those keywords. I feel like I skipped something. Just kind of looking at the other entries without trying to read them too closely. Because yeah, I went to maybe that's not A2. Oh well, okay. So we're at the null camp. We took the XP. If you have the keyword clear, maybe if it means I don't have any keywords. Let's look at the manual. Keywords. As a party plays through the adventure, they will gain keywords. When a storybook entry instructs the party to record a specific keyword, write down the keyword space of the party journal. Keywords will sometimes get erased during an adventure, but all the party's keywords are always erased between adventures. Party has a specific keyword or a title and action indicator. Because action indicators are resolved in order from top to bottom, any remaining action indicators in that entry are ignored. So I guess cleared would be a keyword. That would make sense, like if you've already been in that area. I'm assuming if you don't have a keyword, you continue reading. Okay. 3 dog-faced creatures huddle around a single campfire. You approach downwind but smell no roasting meat. A hungry gnoll is a vicious foe, so you approach from behind in the space of their own shadows. Your iron strikes one down and then another before the last can get to her feet. She snarls at you and pulls a burning branch from the fire, waving it wildly to defend herself. Combat. Cover all dice slots on the enemy card with dice matching an indicated number and color. See the combat section. Alright, cool. So, we'll get our dice bag. And we will find our monster. Gnoll 21. Okay. You drive her away from the camp or defeat. Alright, so combat, page 14. Combat. Like I said, I haven't read the rules. I've skimmed through them, but I haven't played, so if you're watching, sorry for the delays and slow play, but I figured it'd be kind of interesting to stream my first play to kind of get the idea of how easy it is to learn to play or not. Player 1 encounter enemies during adventure, during combat. Each combat lasts up to 3 rounds. Combat setup. First, the named enemy card in the deck. I cannot talk today. Find the named enemy card in the enemy deck using the enemy numbers as reference. Boom. Okay. In the combat box indicates any modifiers. Find the named modifier cards in the modifier deck. Assign them to the enemy card. The combat box. Oh, cornered. Okay. Cornered. Okay. I really like these trays. They're all laid out and set up nice. At the start of this skill check or each round of this combat, add a random die to the dice pool. This does not count against the dice limit. Okay. Place a round marker on the leftmost space of the round track on the enemy card. I'm going to assume that. Okay. Review the party journal to find the party's current combat dice limit. 3. This is the number of dice that the player will add to the dice pool. Players may spend stamina by moving it from their attribute rolls to their fatigue boxes to add a dice of a specific color. Find the die in the dice bag and add it to the dice pool. Players may do this multiple times as long as they do not exceed the dice limit. The cost to add a die of a specific color is equal to the number of players, so that'd be 2. Well, 1 player, 2 characters. So it says players, so 1 player. The stamina spent to add a die of a specific color must come from the attribute row that matches the color of the die. So if I wanted green, I'd have to use his stamina there from his green row. Yeah, and here it says in a 3-player game they must spend 3 decks. So yeah. If the players collectively do not have enough stamina in the matching attribute row, they may substitute stamina from another row, from other attribute rows in place of the missing stamina ratio of 3 to 1. Wow. So like he'd have to use all of his strength to get a purple die, or blue, I guess. Excuse me. When adding dice to the dice pool, an individual player may not spend so much stamina that they become exhausted. I'm assuming that means if you spend all of your stamina, you're exhausted and you're done for probably the adventure. After the players are done adding dice of specific colors, add random dice from the dice bag, 1 at a time. Repeat until the number of dice in the dice pool is equal to the dice limit. So I get to put in 3 dice of my own, whatever color I want, and then I add 3 more, I guess. Roll the dice. Okay, so let's do that part first. So we need green, white, and red or blue. Well, he's got red, no problem. They both only have 1 green. They both have 2 white. And purple. See, I guess that's purple, or is that blue? I guess that's blue. She's got 2 blue. Okay. So I can have 3 dice. Let's go for a red. There's a red. A green. Let's have him do a green. And let's have her do the white. There's a white. Okay. And then it was add 3 more random colors, right? So 1, 2. Oops, that's too many. I'll randomly take one out because okay. So I do have all the colors available. Okay, so now we're going to roll the dice. Oh, at the start of the skill check or each round of this combat, add a random die to the dice pool. Be nice to get another blue or red. Hey! Okay. Alright, so we roll. Oops. Each player gathers the cards from their hand space, but not from their space. Okay. So first we're going to roll these dice. I need to get my dice chest out. Okay. So, looks like maybe some decent rolls. Okay. Now let's look at their hands. On the back of the pre-gens, they tell you which cards to have. And if you're importing your character, there's a way to. I don't remember if you just look at the log sheet that you made or what exactly, but so this is where we get to do our dice manipulation part, which is the fun part of the game. Okay, so players may play cards from their hands to alter the dice in the dice pool. They can coordinate with each other to decide who should play which cards and in what order. Cards are placed in the player's discard space when played. However, cards with the spent icon are placed in the spent space instead. Okay. Spin icon is a angled up arrow. Each player may play a number of cards up to the play limit. Each player can play a play limit. So 4 is my play limit. So I can play 4 on each character. Well, no, it says each player may play a number of cards up to the play limit. So I can play up to 4 cards. So I'm assuming I can split those between my 2. Although that doesn't sound fair, because normally if you've got 2 players, they would each have 4. So I'm assuming is it 4 per character or 4 per player? Because that's 2 or 4 cards per character. Alright. Some cards allow players to add more dice beyond the dice limit, which we just did with that, although that's a little bit different. The players may spend bonus play tokens from the party journal to play more cards beyond the play limit. When a bonus play token is spent, any one player may play an extra card from their hand. I've got 1, that's what this token is. It's a nice little wooden token. So is the rest token. After a bonus play token is spent, it is placed in the fatigue box of the player who played the extra card. Players may also activate their class abilities. After a player activates their class ability, they flip the class card face down. Class abilities do not count against the play limit. Okay, that's good. So she can choose a value, reroll all dice with that value on dice slots and in the dice pool. His ability, reroll all white dice in the dice pool, or reduce the amount of stamina added to your fatigue box at the end of this round of combat by 5. So that's cool. He has like a mini heal. Not really a mini heal. He's got like a heal, or I could reroll those white. And hers was choose a value, reroll all dice with that value on dice slots and in the dice pool. I'm not sure what dice slots are yet, but like I could say I want to reroll 1s, and she could reroll those 2, which actually she will probably do because the other dice are all pretty good. Now this, on the combat card, I need a green with at least a 1, a white with at least 2, and I need a red or a blue with a 2. So right now I'm actually good on my dice numbers. I'm not sure what these are for. We'll find out. Place dice from the dice pool on matching dice slots on the enemy card. Ah, okay. So that's what the dice slots are. Following all restrictions, see dice slot icons on 21. Dice placed here must be the indicated color and value. Okay, so if it's a solid like that one, it has to be a green 1. It's not a 1 or higher, it has to be a green 1, so I'm not good. The die placed here must be the indicated value, but can be either of the two indicated colors. So it has to be a 2, but it could be a red or a blue. So the white has to be a white 2, a green 1, and it can be a red or blue 2. If it's got the multiple color band, it can be any color. And if it doesn't show a dot, it can be any value. Okay. Then here's all the icons. Again, I apologize for the lighting. I will work on that for the next stream. But there's all kinds of icons on here, which I recognize a lot of these from the role player game. This is being able to flip a die value up 1 or down 1. So let's see. So she is going to use her power to re-roll 5s. So she's going to flip her power over. Okay, and she's going to re-roll all the 5s because I'm hoping to get 1s and 2s. I've got a 1. That's not going to do me any good. And I got a 4, a 3, and a 5. So not a very good re-roll. So he's going to use his power, because the powers don't count against the hand size, to re-roll all the whites. And that's better. Okay. So that was a wash. So I'm not looking very good on this fight. So now we have to look at all of our cards and see if we can figure out what we want to change. I'm curious how we get these colors of gems, because there's only the white and the blue XP. Oh, okay. Those aren't things you get. That is flip a green or red. So like this one is flip any color die. That doesn't make any sense either. Flip a green or red die to its opposite side. Okay, so what's the multicolor? Any die. So like her wand. Let's look at her wand here. Her wand, which still isn't going to work for her, because I could flip a green die down by 1. Is that what that icon means? There's a lot of icons, and I remember this from Roleplay Adventures. Once you get the hang of what the icons mean, the game plays really fast, but obviously when you're learning it, it takes a little bit for those to kind of get set in your head. Increase or decrease a die by 1. Dice cannot be increased from 6 to 1 and cannot be decreased from 1 to 6. Okay, so her wand would let me change that 3. She could use this wand and she could change it down to a 2. All right, but that's still not going to help me. Or she could, turn one up, like that blue, but I don't want to do that either. She could turn the blue down, though, right? I'm assuming this isn't a blue only up and a green only down. It might be, though. Plus. Now, the rotating dice symbol is, I think you can put it on any side you want. To re-roll a die. So, take away her wand. Her mystic cloak, okay, her mystic cloak has this symbol, which is re-roll a blue or a green die. Okay, so that's an option. Nimble lets me turn any color die into a green or a red. Okay, not very helpful right now. This must be turning a purple up or down one. Again, not very helpful. What about our bull? He can turn, see now, his tower shield lets me turn blues up or down, so it must be specific. So the wand must be blue only can go up, green only can go down, whereas his card, both are blue, right? So he can turn this blue to a 2. And then we can place that, boom. So there's one card placed, and here's that symbol, that's spent. So for right now, we'll just set it here. That's spent. The edges of our card here have our spots, hand, discard, spent. But I need a slightly bigger table, as you can tell. Okay, so that's one of my plays. I don't think they have a play tracker. I have a play tracker. Can I do it without knocking a bunch of stuff over? That 1A card. So there is one play. I'm assuming that I get 4 plays per character because I'm essentially 2 players. And that makes more sense because otherwise it would really hurt a solo 2-hand player if you only got 4 and you had to split it between 2 characters. So, all right. So let's see. What else can he do? Decrease a red or white die by 1 or 2. Perfect. So I can turn this white 4. I can decrease it by 2, which takes that down to a 2. And I can place that. Okay. Now this one, see, does not have that symbol, so it is just going to be discarded. Let's spread these out a little bit so I can use my slots. So this is discard, and this is spent. There we go. So green. I think I'm kind of stuck. She can, with her cloak, I can re-roll that green, one of the green. Is that all greens or one green? I'm going to assume it's probably only one die. Reroll any die. Flip a green or red. Kind of confused when it shows that slash. I'm assuming that means I can reroll a blue or, yeah, because this example shows flipping a green or red die to its opposite side. So I'm assuming the slash means blue or red, one die. And I'm assuming a reroll is just a die, because I'm saying reroll any die, not reroll dice. Yeah, and then the actual icon says reroll a die. There might be things that let you reroll multiple die. All right, well, she's going to re-roll a green. This got bumped up to 2. Let's go for the 5. We're going to re-roll this, and I hope I get this 1. Nope. So there's a 3. This gets discarded now. Okay. That takes this up to 3. All right. So do they have any other way to manipulate dice other than their cards? I do have that bonus play token. I've got one more play. Actually, I'm doing it wrong because if I'm doing the 4, oh yeah, he's got a couple more here. Hold on, I'm not done yet. So here he can re-roll. Well, that's not going to help me though, because that only helps me re-roll red or white, which I've already placed my white, and the red has already been technically placed as well. And protection is I guess adding a green die. What else does he have? Add 2 reds. A 1 or a 4 to any color. Oh, here we go. Okay. So this lets me take a 1 or a 4, which I have this red 1 sitting here, and make that any color. So I can make the red a green. There we go. And that is a spent. Okay. And that is 4 play limit on him. I guess I'm going to have to get 2 counter die. Actually, I've got that. And it's appropriate that he has the big honker. And she's used 1. It's kind of handy to just have, D20s lying around. Just for when you need to grab a D20 from somewhere. Okay, so that's cool. So now we've got that placed. If all the dice slots on the enemy card are covered, skip to the end of combat. Each player suffers counterattacks for uncovered dice slots. Okay, well I don't have any uncovered dice slots. Apply the effect of the next space of the round track. See round track icons on page 21. Then advance the round marker 1 space. If the round marker cannot be advanced or the entire party is exhausted, skip to the end of combat. Return the remaining dice from the dice pool back to the dice bag, then go back to the build the dice pool, start the next round of combat. End of combat. Okay, so round track icons. So the first one is nothing. Okay. Alright, so we got them all covered before he got to go. Does he automatically go? Counterattack icons are found below dice slots on enemy cards. They are always to the left of reward icons. At the end of each round of combat, the players suffer counterattacks for empty dice slots on the enemy card. There are no empty dice slots, so I guess I don't suffer any counterattacks. Okay. So, had I not filled this one, there's a red 3, and a blue 1, which looks like I would have to add the indicated stamina from my supply to my fatigue box. Each character, so she'd have to take 3, he'd have to take 3, and then we would lose the XP that we got from here, so it would come off there if that one wasn't filled. This one's merely losing 2 stamina, and this one's the same, 3 stamina or 1. And then I'm guessing you also apply this, which currently there isn't one. But had it gone to round 2, there'd be an extra stamina, and that'd be using an extra. Maybe, yeah. What's the difference between the -1? Each player returns. Okay. Return from the party general supply. Each player returns it to the supply. Oh. Okay. Yeah. So that's kind of cool how that works. A little confusing at first until certain things started to kind of click back in, but that's cool. So he's defeated, so what does that mean now? I was kind of curious. It indicated a turn. Oh, I guess that's the turn tracker. Okay. End of combat. Okay, so we did that. Gain rewards for covered dice slots. See record. Oh, no, okay. So I was wrong. The -1 would be losing stamina. The reward is, so the blue red one did not give a reward, but these two both give Those look blue, so is that 2 experience? I think that's 2 experience. Let's look at a couple of the monsters just to make sure that the blue and the clear... I don't see a fight giving you stamina for victory. It should be XP. Yeah, it kind of looks like they're all that way. Yeah, because there's a clear. Kind of hard to tell. It's kind of a brownish gray on the background. So yeah, it looks like the rewards are almost always XP gold. Okay, cool. Yay, first combat. Okay. So it said return, at least return the extras. Return all dice. Return all dice to the dice bag. Throw our combat tracker there. Turn this guy back so I have a number. Mod 8. That's cool, yeah, they're numbered. So you can put them all back in order. It's a very organized game, which I like. The round marker of the supply. The enemy card back to the enemy deck. All modifier cards to the modifier deck. Returns all cards from their discard space to their hand space. That's what I was wondering. That's how you get your discards back. They just go back. But our spent cards are gone. And he spent 2 cards. 2 pretty good cards. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. If the rest token on the party journal is face down, flip it face up. Review the entry in the current storybook to resolve the outcome of the combat. Okay. Cool. Put him back with his buddies. He's number 21. 20. I wonder if these are tarot sized for sleeves. I haven't decided if I'm going to sleeve this one yet or not. I think I sleeved all my role player. I like to sleeve the cards. It makes shuffling really nice. But this is going to be predominantly a solo game. So I'm pretty easy when I shuffle. And otherwise I'm not too concerned about wearing them out, especially where these are the super nice linen. I like the feel of them, especially, so I don't know if I want to sleeve them. We'll see. It'd be a lot of cards to sleeve. I'm not sure how many cards there are all together. I haven't looked yet. Usually Board Game Geek, I think, has a count of how many cards you need of the various sizes. Alright, so we defeated him. Victory. You drive her away from the camp. Go to C3. I like how it's a choose your own adventure style setup. C3, right? That's what I said. C3? C3. The gnolls retreat from your blades and flee back toward their homeland in the north. As they run, you set fire to their tents. Zippo raid. By the light of the burning camp, you find something the cowards left behind. Reveal discovery card 86. Record the keyword gnoll. Okay. You can download these sheets that slide in here in your character sheets and this journal. You can download that all off the website. Normally I'm very adverse to the games where you have the limited tiny little pad. A lot of the war games come with those. But most of them nowadays, with the power of the internet, have PDFs that you can download and print out. These are the originals. But going forward, I'll probably just print out copies. That way I've always got the originals available. Alright, and then Discovery Card 86. The only thing here is these trays are really cool, but I noticed that these, if you flop the card down in there, they're hard to get them out. If these were sleeved right now, they'd be even harder to get out. Oh wait, I'm going backwards. Okay, so 55. I'm going to get these out and kind of stand them up. So I'll do it that way. I'm sure you're fascinated watching me dig cards out of trays. There we go. Alright, it was card 86. card 86. Okay. Card 86 is Lodestone Pendant, and it does not require stamina to use. We're going to reset his counter. This is actually a counter D20, so I don't know why I was looking. And she's also still on 1, so. Okay. Another fire rises from across the lake. You trust that Tarek is making good progress and will meet you at the fortified gate ahead. Item combinations. When a choice indicator offers you the opportunity to use an item, you may also choose to use 2 items at the same time. To do so, combine the location letter and both item numbers with the lowest number first and turn to that entry in the storybook. Each player places stamina into their fatigue box from the supply equal to the total cost of both items. You cannot use the same item combination twice in the same location. Use an item, rest, move to another location. Well, unless resting restores fatigue. Let's see if resting restores fatigue. If it does, I might have him rest. Resting. During an adventure, the party will need to stop and rest at times. In the storybook, the party will often find this choice indicator. When the party chooses to rest, the rest token on the party journal must be face up, and the party must have at least 1 XP. Complete the following steps. Spend 1 or more XP. Return the spent XP from the party journal to the supply. Each player draws dice from the dice bag equal to the amount of XP spent. Each player rolls their dice and returns stamina from the fatigue box to the supply equal to the result. Then puts the dice back into the dice bag. There's an error there. Then puts the dice back in the dice bag. Each player fills their attribute rows up to their attribute scores with stamina from the supply. If an attribute row has excess stamina, the excess is returned to the supply. Each player whose class card is face down flips it face up. Each player returns all bonus play tokens from their fatigue box to the bonus play space on the party journal. Each player returns all cards from their spent space. Making sure my camera didn't lock up. It's not the camera, it's the capture card will lock up occasionally. Flip the rest token. Okay, so that actually sounds like a pretty good deal. So much like in D&D, I've spent some resources. I'm going to rest to get some of those back. So I've got a maximum of 3. Do I want to spend 3 XP? So we're going to rest. We are going to spend our 3 XP, because why not? We're going to return these 3 to the pool. Right before I do that, you draw dice from the bag. Yeah, so I want 3. Oh, I probably didn't have to spend 3 because watch, I'm going to roll 3 6s now. So this is a gamble mechanic where you can, you're going to draw your 3 dice. So I might roll 3 1s, which is fine. So I'm guaranteeing that I'm getting my stamina back. Because yeah, I can take up to 13 stamina back, so I didn't need to spend nearly as much. Even if I'd only spent 1, and if I had gotten this 3, I would have been fine. So she had spent 1 from, oops, that's a big one. 1 from there, and then he had spent 1 from strength, and 1 from con. There we go. Okay. Kind of an expensive rest, but that's okay. It's the first game. Be interesting to see how the resting works. If it winds up, every fight you rest, you kind of game it that way to where you're always stocked up, or if there's going to start being penalties, wandering monsters, or enough adventures to where you're not going to gain any XP, because like right now, I'm only going to gain 1 more XP. So I only have 3 to spend. We'll see how much. Normally, this should be money in the corner. Well, no, maybe not, because there's some... Never mind. I'm trying not to speculate and assume things when I do these videos, so I'm not going to do that. I'll find out when I get there. Okay, so I rested. So I'm done resting. Okay. Oops. Oh, maybe you only get one rest. Because I was thinking I flip that back over after I'm resting, but no, that's actually at the end. You flip the rest token over. So I've rested. Maybe you only get one rest per adventure. That would be rough. There might be cards or items that let you get extra rest. Okay, so that should be how they balance out being able to rest after every fight. You can't. Okay, cool. Does it say that anywhere? The rest choice indicator never directs the party to another storybook entry. After resting, the party must read the list of indicators and choose another one. Okay, so yeah. So it doesn't say. That makes it look like you get one rest. So there's probably ways to reset that better and things like that. Okay. So we took a rest. Oh, it even said it right here. See the resting section. All right, so now I'm going to move to another location. I guess we are going to go ahead and move to the Outpost Wall, which is D. If you have the keyword open, I do not. If there is no XP at this location, otherwise collect the XP from this location and continue reading. You approach the fortified outpost as the moon sets, leaving you in utter darkness. Behind you, twin fires burn on either side of the shimmering black lake. You feel your way across the rough wood of the outpost's massive gate, but can find no handle or latch, yet the gate holds firm. It must be barred from within. Behind this wall, the Dragool are protecting a powerful artifact. Tarek Nolan, the halfling, is nowhere in sight. So I can use an item, I can rest, or I can move to another location. Well, he didn't meet us here. We saw the fires from the goblin camp. So I guess we can... I guess we'll go to the goblin camp and find out where he's at. Okay. So we go back to B. If there's no XP, otherwise collect the XP. Okay. If we have the keyword null, we do. B7. Ashes are all that remain of the goblin encampment. There are no tracks, no bodies, and no stains of blood on the earth. No trace of the battle remains, not even any evidence of Tarek's approach and exit. A few crude spearheads are the only sign that goblins ever camped here. If you didn't know better, you would have guessed that this was the site of some long-forgotten goblin village founded ages ago when Nalos and the Dragool lived in harmony. It's as if Tarek blasted the poor creatures into ancient history. He is a more formidable operative than you had supposed. A light breeze shifts the ashes, revealing something Tarek overlooked. Reveal Discovery Card 95. Discovery Card 95. An ancient key. Well, that sounds handy. Okay. Use an item, rest, move to another location. Do we not write down any keywords on that? Okay. Well, I guess I can go to the encounter again. It's encounter 1. Why am I not finding the encounter 1? Okay. Oh, it's A1. A1 is what I'm looking for. The bluff overlooks a lake, blackened with the blood and ashes of fallen Dragul. Well, that doesn't help me. Use an item rest or move to another location. Okay. Go back to the gate. D. Alright. Do not have the keyboard open. Obviously, I already collected the XP. Alright, I'm going to use an item. So I'm going to use... Let's see if I can use the ancient key first, because I said I could use that. So D 95. D95. You try the ancient key at the gate, but there is no lock for the key to fit into. It is a fortified outpost gate held in place by a heavy bar on the inside. What if we combine... So the key didn't open, there is no keyhole for the gate. That's interesting. Can I just keep trying actions? I got a little spoiler here. D6595. You consider using the bluestone fireball with the ancient key, but then realize that the fireball could destroy the key, which may still be of value. So I'm not going to do that. So what is 86 and the... Yeah, so the lodestone by itself, D86, you press the lodestone pendant against the gate, but there's no response. Gate's made of wood, not metal. D8695 does not move. D65. Oh, the first choice. You uncork the blue stone fireball at the base of the fortified gate and run for cover. A thunderous explosion tears a wide flaming hole in the wall, giving you passage through. The second action indicated below tells you to reveal a discovery card that is not an item. Some discovery cards will update your map. The bottom left corner of these cards indicate where they go on the adventure map. Oh, okay, cool. Record the keyword open. Okay. Reveal discovery card 16 and place... Lost my place. Place 1 XP on it. Okay, 16. Oh, that works. Okay. Place 1 XP on it. Return Discovery 65 to the Discovery deck. This is cool. They got a little... Look at that. Oh. Okay, and then this goes back. 65. Okay. Our choices are rest or move to another location. Oh, and place 1 XP on it. Okay. I want to move to, since I'm here, E. Outpost Interior. If you have the title Revealer of Secrets, if you have the title Rogue's Accomplice, if you have the title Aid to Ogre. I have none of those. Oh, we rested, so these flip back over. And yeah, Crusader, Brave, Sorcerer, Mysterious. I don't think they have any titles. Devoted. And she's Chosen One, right? Chosen One. Yeah. So, and I don't think those are, because personal titles go on here. I think it's part of the backstory. So yeah, nobody would have one of those yet. Okay. Otherwise, collect the XP and continue reading. Making up for that rest. Alright. You pass through the smoldering hole and enter the Dragul post. Its massive wooden walls are solid but roughly constructed. They enclose an open space, empty except for a single chest of white metal and a gray-skinned ogre who stands before it with an iron club. Like the cover. Dun dun dun. The ogre shouts in the Dragul language. It's gibberish to you, as if he were making all the sounds but none of the sense of Nalos common. Between his angry cries, he smashes the metal chest with such force that it shakes the ground around you, but the chest only rings out a remarkably pleasant tone. It remains unbroken, undented, and firmly in place. Enraged, the ogre approaches you, shouting and swinging his club wildly. As you watch his outburst, you catch a glimpse of something moving in the shadows behind him. Tarek Nolan, blade drawn, carefully approaches the ogre from the other side of the outpost. Faction tracks. At this location, the choices you make will affect your standing with three major factions: King's Favor, Starlit Door Favor, Dragul Favor. Find the favor marker and place them on the 0 starting spaces of all three faction tracks on your party journal. When ready, make your choice about how to deal with the ogre. Alright, so we got our faction blocks. We put them on 0, 0, and 0. Now, backstory-wise, the Devoted here, I remember that he's on a quest to gather up. His son is deathly sick, and he's on a quest to find certain rare items to make a potion to help him. And in order to do that, he had to join the King's Guard, because it was the only way he would be able to afford the things and to be able to travel to get them. So he's obviously very loyal to the king. Now, the Dark Elf, she is the chosen one. And, she's all, and it's not like I don't know I'm the chosen one. No, like from birth, people are telling her, you're the chosen one. So I don't know what her faction alliance really would be beyond herself. So I'm really curious about her backstory, especially. Which I know we're going to take out this ogre. So let's see what the choices in the book are. Attack the ogre. Try to understand what he is saying. Well, that's simpler than I was hoping for. Intelligence and wisdom. I've got 2 people with 2 wisdoms. And she's got 2 intelligence. I could try to understand what he's saying first. Ooh. Let's try to understand what he's saying, since I have potentially a decent choice for that. E3. As Tarek creeps closer, you try to understand what the ogre is saying. Dragul and Nalos Common are not completely divorced. 1,000 years ago, when all the Ulos? I like it, they actually have a pronunciation guide for some of these names. A lot of game stuff doesn't do that, and you find out 14 different ways to pronounce something. 1,000 years ago, when all the Ulos lived in peace, the 2 languages were a single tongue, but after all these centuries of separation, it is no simple task for you to comprehend the ogre's angry rants. Oh good, skill check. I was hoping there would be a skill check or something I could learn. Alright, interpretation 1. Skills check. Skills check. Skills check. On page 12. Oh, right here. Party encountered situations that test your skills during an adventure. During a skill check, work together to cover each dice slot on the skill book page with a matching die. If they cover all dice slots, they will pass the skill check. Otherwise, they will fail the skill check. Each skill check has a difficulty level, which this one is interpretation 1. If the skill check box indicates any modifiers from the modifier card. Okay, cool. So, handy dandy. skill check book. What was it? Interpretation, charm, concealment, deception, endurance, force, interpretation. Okay, interpretation 1. So there we go. We need, yeah, the whites and the blues. This one can be white or blue. White has to be 2, blue has to be 4, white or blue can be 3. All right. I don't see any modifiers for it. Does the encounter? Doesn't look like it has any modifiers. Reveal the skill books, find the dice limit, which is 4. Okay, so it's the same as combat, essentially. I get 4 dice. I wonder if I'm going to have to fighting as well. How about she's going to spend an intelligence and a wisdom, and he's going to spend a wisdom. So that'll give us 3 dice. Obviously, yeah, she was a purple or blue and a white, and he's throwing in a white. So I've got 2 whites and a blue. I won't mind having 1 more. Have her throw in another blue. Okay, that way I got that. So there's the 4. Okay. The cost to add a dice equal to the number of players. Oh wait, am I doing that wrong? No, because it's 1. 1, because I'm 1 player. Although again, is it actually 2? Because I have 2 characters. I'll get some clarification on that. I think usually it's very specific. So if it says player, it should be one point. I'm only 1 player, even though I'm running 2 characters. Yeah, because it says in the example, 3-player game, players want to add 1 black die. They must spend 3 dex stamina total. Oh, no. So maybe I am doing it wrong. So instead of getting... Well, that wouldn't be fair, though, because I would never get to the dice limit. If I'm 1 player... No, if it's 1 point for 1 player, yeah, 4, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. If it's 3 players, it's 3 per dice. Each player has to spend 1. Which that doesn't seem fair to multiple players, because they would have to spend... Like, this would be... I'll have to read up on that more. I'm not sure if I'm doing that right. After players are done adding dice of specific colors, add random dice from the dice bag, 1 at a time. Repeat until the number of dice is equal to the dice limit, which in this case is 4. They're random colors, so hopefully we get some more blues and whites. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, there's 2. And 1 and 2. Ah, another white at least. Okay. Well, there's a 3. There's a 3. There's a 2. 6. 6. And these I don't really care about. Okay. All right. And then from here it should be your dice manipulation using your hand and everything. Yep. Okay. So I'm debating if I want to go ahead and just place that blue 3. I think I will. Or I could use... I've got the other 2. I'm going to use that for there. He's going to use his power to reroll. Oh, sweet. Okay. And then she is going to choose a value. I need a 4. She's going to reroll all the 2s. Okay. That still doesn't help me much. That's okay. She's going to use her Mystic Cloak to reroll one of the blues. So, does she have any way to change? Oh, look at this. Perfect. So her wand, I can change blue up by 1. So that'll make that a 4. And that fills that. That's spent now. That takes her up to 2 uses. That's like I said, that's another thing I need to verify. Do they each get 4 play limits, or is play limit for 1 player and I have to split it among? Because if I was running 4 characters, you only get 1 use per. That seems kind of I think you get 4 per character. And then the point buy, I think, is per player. Because otherwise it would really hurt single players. Alright. So I don't have to worry about the rest. And then I'm assuming I get XP for those 2. No matter the outcome of the skill check, gain rewards for covered dice slots. Well, in this case, I got them all. Return all dice to the bag, modifier to modifier deck. If the rest token of the party journal is face down, flip it face up. Okay, so skill check's going to reset your rest token. That's cool. Review the current entry in the scorebook to see what the conditions are. Okay, cool. So we got that. That's 2 XP. All right. So we passed. You roughly understand the ogre's meaning. E8. E8. Paying careful attention to the ogre's speech, you can tell that he is angry about the chest and whatever is inside it. He introduces himself as Tog, and he tells you that the Dragul invasion was meant to bring home artifacts like the one at his feet. After all the death and suffering of this war, he has finally reached his mission's end, but he can neither move the chest nor open its lid. As he speaks, Tog sinks in despair. His homeland is gone, the invasion has failed. And where will the Dragul go now? Away? His are the complaints of an invader who killed many of your compatriots and now is disappointed in his own losses at war. But your efforts to understand him have kept his attention fixed on you, allowing the halfling in the back to creep ever closer to the ogre. A moment more and Tog's life will be over. So my choices are: I can warn him so he can escape, wait and let Tarek do his work. Well, I'm going to wait and let Tarek do his work. E10. The halfling inserts his knife into the back of the ogre's neck. Well, that sounds very clean, doesn't it? Just inserts his knife, just like there's a slot A and a tab B. And Toag falls to the ground dead. Tog. Nice job distracting him, says Tarek. One less ogre to worry about. You examine the scene and find some gold in the ogre's pocket. Gain 4 gold. I have the metal coins, which are nice. Oops, my little lock fell out. All right. Gain 4 gold. Reveal title card 3. Title card 3. Okay. Title card 3. I'm assuming this key unlocks the chest. Rogue's Accomplice. Hey, remember they mentioned that on one of them earlier. At Black Lake, your mission with Tarek Nolan ended with the death of an ogre. This battle will not be forgotten, neither by the halfling nor by the ogre's ghost. Oh. Okay. Favor markers. Adjust the favor markers of the faction track below as instruction by the action indicators below. For example, a diamond. Okay, so we get. Huh? So -1. Why would we get -1 on King's favor and +1 on Dragul's favor? That doesn't make any sense. We killed the ogre. Shouldn't that be... Why am I getting favor for the... What? I wonder if those are backwards. Because shouldn't the king's favor go up 1 and Dragul's favor go down 1? I just killed the ogre. Why would it go up? That doesn't make sense. I wonder if that's a typo. Because even the example says, for example, Dragon Head -1 instructs you to move the favor marker 1 space to the left on the Dragul faction track. But then the actual actions is King's favor -1, Dragul +1. Okay, I'll ask about that. If you have keywords, Greg Nolan open. If you have both, no. 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 So again, so is clear the equivalent of not having a word? It can't be, because it says both of the keywords. So what do I do? This is confusing. So where do I go if I don't have those? Oh, I read the wrong line. Never mind. I still gain 4 gold. I get title card 3. Title card 3. I read the wrong side. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was right. There we go. King's favor goes up 1. That goes down 1. Now then, I have... I still don't have the words though, so what do I do? If you have both keywords goblin and alarm, nope. Goblin and clear, nope. Goblin, knoll and alarm, nope. Knoll and clear, nope. So where do I go? I mean, I can't be stuck. There has to be something I do. Did I miss getting... I guess I got to find clear and alarm. Is there like keywords in here? Page 8. So I raise my faction. If you have both, if you have both, if you have both, if you have both. I don't have both. I don't have clear and I don't have alarm. So what do I do? actions. It doesn't continue on the other page. Faction tracks. Exhaustion. Advancement. Saving campaign progress. Glossary. Resting. Golden XP. It's like in the CRPGs when you're standing in the area and nobody have it. There's no quest givers, everything's been turned in, but the door to the next area won't open. Oh, if you have the keyword clear, continue reading, but I don't have the keyword clear and there's no entry to continue reading. Did I somehow miss writing down a keyword? Beginning to have trouble thinking because of noise. I guess I gotta backtrack my whole game and find out if I missed a keyword. Alright, so I did general, begin 1, keyword Greg. Read entry A. Discovery card 65, already used it. Didn't have any keywords on it. I moved to an item, I went to encounter 2. Okay. C and B. I must have missed one somewhere. Let's just go through B, I guess, because we went there. I don't remember which one it was, but it was, yeah, B7. Ashes are all that remain. Discovery card 95. No keyword. Okay. Then I went, what did we do at the Knoll camp? Some of the action indicators below, check for keywords. If you have the indicated keyword, remember to resolve action indicators from top to bottom. Turn it to another immediate, blah, 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 blah. Okay. When we went there initially, we collected the XP. We continued reading. I wonder if that's where I messed up, because it says if you have the keyword clear, continue reading, which I did not have the keyword clear, because I don't know where you get keyword clear. So that must be where I messed up. But I didn't have Goblin and I didn't have Alarm. So I did that. We did combat. We drove away from the camp, which was C3. Record the keyword Knoll, which I did. We rested. And then we went to D. We went to the Outpost. If you have the keyword open, I do now, but I did not then. We used the fireball potion. We added the map card. Record the keyword open, I did. Discovery 16. return. Do I not have Discovery 16? No, I had 16. No, where's 16? Oh, this is 16. Yeah. Okay, so that's not it. Okay, then what do we do after that? We went to E. We did not have the titles. We collect the XP. We went to E3 to understand what he was saying. We passed the skill check. So E8. We waited. E10. Gain 4 gold. Reveal title card 3. Title card 3. Okay, face up in the title. Okay. Favor markers. Did that. We adjusted our faction track. Up 1 for the king, down 1 for Dragul. We do not have the keywords. WTF. What do I do? I guess that's it. It's just done. I mean, what's in the freaking chest? There's no option to open the chest. There's no entry to read. Alarm and clear. Why don't we just go with null, and we're going to say that clear is an assumed keyword, I guess, E15. Now that the outpost is calm, Tarek relaxes on a tree stump and carves slices from an apple. Allow me to compliment you, he says, on your stealthy approach to the Knoll camp. I heard no sound at all from your side of the lake, not until I heard the Knolls screaming to their gods for mercy. Well done. Continue, E21. Tarek points to the metal chest with an apple wedge. All that's left for me, he says, is to figure out what is locked inside. Upon closer inspection, you discover the white metal of the chest to be Durgolium, an ancient alloy forged to contain objects from other planes. No force will crack it. Its lid must yield to some other secret. You find a pear-shaped indentation above its keyhole. Tarek notices your interest in the chest. You can return to your regiment now if you like, or you can stay and help me open it. Adventure complete. Your mission here is complete, leaving you free to explore the area at your leisure. Are there parts of the lake you have not visited or items you have not yet found use for? From now on, when a choice indicator gives you the opportunity to move to another location, you may instead turn to the final section of the storybook titled The End. If your entire party is exhausted, mark the death track and read the corresponding entry in the Tome of Encounters. We are not. When moving around on the adventure map, you do not need to stop at locations without XP or other tokens on them. When you return to a location that you have previously explored, make sure to read the base text of the entry again. So, I've explored everything. I don't need to rest. I'm not hurt. So we can turn to the final section titled The End. Your mission at Black Lake has ended, and Tarek Nolan wishes you Godspeed as you return to your regiment. My own mission takes me elsewhere, he tells you, but I have a feeling we will meet again. As you travel back, you have time to collect your thoughts and puzzle over the things you've seen. We don't get to open the chest? As you travel back, you have time to collect your thoughts and puzzle over the things you've seen. Which titles did you earn? Read each section below that matches a title card you have. We got Rogue's Accomplice. The slack face and limp body of the slain ogre appear in your mind. You have put an end to many Dragul invaders during this long war, but for some reason, this ogre's death left an impression. Of all the Dragul that you have killed, he was the only one who ever tried to communicate with you. You find yourself wondering what you might have learned from him if he had lived. We have the keyword Grick, ending number 2. Upon your return, you find the regiment. I leaned back in my chair there. Upon your return, you find your regiment preparing to march. Orders to move west, a soldier tells you. General Grick is advancing on Bogroot Swamp. You reported to the general, who smiles when he sees you. Just in time, he calls. General Grick hands you a letter from King Taryn. It seems the king's hometown has been attacked by a giant troll, and he wants you to bring him its head. My duties take me to Bogroot, says Grick, so when you're done with the troll, you'll need to meet Zylak and Sebek for your next assignment. Grick slugs you on the shoulder to bid you farewell. You head toward the coast. After a 2-day march, you can smell brine in the air and head the call of gulls. Soon you will arrive in the halfling town of Jolov, where you must fetch the head of a troll for your king. If you do not have the title, Reveal of Secrets, in 3. We do not have the title. Ending 3. On the trail to Jolov, you are greeted by an elvish messenger who hands you a parcel from Tarek. Inside, you find several empty chainmail sacks made of dragolium and a hastily written note. The chest at Black Lake was more important than we knew. Similar dragolium vaults are hidden all over Nalos. Each holds an artifact of great power. You must find the vaults, open them, and confiscate their artifacts. Place what you find in the enclosed sacks, or else risk unleashing horrible power. Tarek is a special agent of King Taran, and his orders are not to be taken lightly. You tuck the dragolium chainmail sacks into your pack and continue your journey. Each player, you may now advance your character, clean up the adventure, and save your characters. See Saving the Campaign Progress on page 18. Yay! Okay. Alright, interesting. Very cool. It's pretty fun, like I said, when you get used to all the icons for all the dice manipulation. And of course, obviously, after this, when you level a character, there's a market where you can get, I'm assuming, again, I shouldn't be assuming, that you can get different cards from the market, different weapons and armors and things like that to use. So, very cool. I look forward to playing more of it. I've got a few questions I need to research in the rule book, like on the stamina to dice cost with solo player versus multiplayer. That was a big one that I think I might have been doing wrong, because it seemed like I was able to buy an awful lot of dice without really spending that much stamina, and I think I would imagine be a little bit tighter. I mean, obviously you need 3, like on that one, you're 4. 3 for the fight and 4 for the skill check, so if you should be able to generate those. But it seemed like that wasn't exactly hard. Granted, it's the first mission, so maybe it's supposed to be easy. But obviously I've got a lot of money to spend. I've got XP to do stuff with. So anyways, that is Roleplayer Adventures. That was Storybook 1, The Battle of Black Lake, which serves as a tutorial, so that's why I don't feel too bad showing it off. If you're super spoiler prone, spoiler adverse, then sorry, but there are 10 or 11 of these. There's a side quest, there's all the backstory things that they're like encounters. They'll pop up, extra encounters to go through to fill those out. There is, I just saw on the Facebook group, they talked that there's an entire how-to guide to make your own quests. So I'm very interested in that, especially how they're the choose your own adventure styles. Way back as a kid, one of my first programming experiences was writing a Zork-style choose your own adventure on my TI-99 4A and TI Basic. So I'm really curious to see how writing this kind of adventure works today. And there's rumors that there'll be at least another expansion, hopefully soon. I don't know what they'll do with that, if it'll be more stories or what. But anyways, very cool. Check it out, Roleplay Adventures. Should be on the shelves in a couple of weeks. Kickstarters are getting them, and we're playing them now. And I'll probably stream this one or two more over the weekend. Like I said, I want to answer some of those questions first in the rule book and make sure I'm doing it right. And then I'll probably stream. Today is Saturday. I'll probably stream Saturday night or Sunday at some point. Do the next book, which is let's see what the next book is for a teaser of what the next adventure is. The next adventure. Oh, I can barely reach them. Is not A3. Where's A2? Oh, there it is. There we go. A2 is the next adventure. A2, Terran's Trophy. Commander Xylak gave you orders from King Terran, sending you away from your regiment to head north to Jolev. Peaceful seaside town is famous for two things. It is Terran's birthplace, and the farmers here smoke the most fantastic hams. But citizens are sheltered in their homes in fear of a giant troll that stalks Jolev's beaches. And young Esther Dunegrass has gone missing. Your mission is to find the girl and fetch King Terran a troll's head to add to his collection. Jolev and its countryside are pleasant enough, but a missing pig has caused at least as much unrest as the troll. A mischievous gnome hunts for treasure in a forbidden sanctuary, and a drunken fisherman have made strange sightings off the coast. As a member of the King's Guard, it's your job to keep the peace. It's actually a little bit noticeably thicker than the one we just did. Let's look at its map. Is its map here on the back side. Now, do I keep these? I think these go back in when we're done. The discovery things. Let's see if it's on this side. There's the map for the next one. So we've got 4 locations. We've got 4 encounter areas. And remember, number 2 has her backstory at some point in here. 2C specifically. So on the beach is her first backstory encounter for Felastari Tevera, Dark Elf Sorcerer. And he does not have anything on this one. He comes in 3. So anyways, there's the map for the next one. Cool. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time I stream. And this will get archived to YouTube later, so you'll catch it there. Thanks for watching. Bye.